Kong! I use the pillow because I know you guys get mad at me if I just freaking beat on my chest. So I wanted to give you a throwback on my desktop background, because I used to draw up on Microsoft Whiteboard quite a bit. If you guys want to see the return of the freaking whiteboard art, feel free to let me know. We can make that happen. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trey's Trades, where we freaking talk fast and adopt cats, baby. Like before I say that, I'm not a financial advisor or expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. So today, my friends, my family, my fellow gorilla gang, we're giving you the update on ticker symbol AMC here. I don't know if this is going to come out tonight or if it's going to come out tomorrow morning. My computer lately has been taking like 8 fucking hours to render stuff out, but regardless, it's going to be relevant information. So we're going to give you the Ortex data, the short sale volume percentage ratio, technical analysis, and just give you kind of the synopsis of what I'm expecting in the short term so that you're mentally prepared for that. Because if you're mentally prepared for war, for the things that come with war, it makes it a little bit easier to endure the process if you are a conviction holder in the squeeze, in the apes, in change in the stock market, yada, yada, yada. You know how this story goes. So without further ado, baby, let's get into this bad boy. We're going to start off here with not Kong, but the Ortex data. So what do we see here today? Short interest changed by about 5.66% for the downside, leaving us at about an estimated short interest of 14.23%. I've said it a million times. This is 85% of the exchange reported data, which means that this is likely a conservative number. It could be 15, 18, 20, 22, 25, but we use 14.23, not considering naked short sales, not considering any sort of failures to delivers or any sort of high frequency trading, any malpractice, any sort of collusion, the unquantifiables, even puts, right? Puts can be considered short interest. That doesn't take it into the equation, right? Because puts and calls both get hedged and unhedged. With the amount of derivatives, which is basically just option activity on the stock, there's a lot of volatile moves when you can break a point over like a significant level of support or resistance, where you have a lot of calls or puts. So with that being said, what do I think happened here, right? 5.66% change. I'm just going to walk you through what the charts look like here. So since this is a T2 system, meaning that shorts cover positions, 2 days before they are reported, that means that you may have seen some of these shorts cover positions down here when it ran from $37 all the way up to $40.53. However, if you look at the total change, return shares is 5.89 million. So that's not a lot of shares to get that sort of push. I mean, it's just based on the data that's what reported. This could have been malreporting, who knows? But I'm going to take it as the baseline of, hey, you look back 2 days ago, you did have a couple of green candles where there was some nice push, right? But that's kind of what you're seeing happen right here. Is this shorts covering their positions? No. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's a percent difference, maybe a percent difference. I mean, it's really not a large difference at all. It's just doing the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's a reminder of this, just look at the overall stock chart, right? The short interest chart that you have here. It is got a nice climb all the way up to 15.36%. So now it's down about 1% or so, down to 14.23. Still on an overall incline. It's still going up. That's part of the journey, right? It's not going to continuously just go up every single day in terms of the short interest. And a validation of that is a utilization, 91.17%, still up 1% from a week ago. And you still have 98 million total shares on loan, which is not a large difference. So just keep that in the back of your mind. That's something to consider. And you do have a free float on loan that is higher as well. I've seen this before. I'll probably see it again. We've seen a discrepancy between the free float and the short interest in the past, which could just be shorts that are not being reported as shorts, but only as shares on loan. All in all, take this with a grain of salt, obviously, but this is a trend, not the hard absolute truth, and I think everybody knows that. But in case you're new to the movement, that is something to keep in the back of your mind. So the daily short sale volume percentage ratio, this is 44%, 40, 42, and 39 in the last 4 trading days, which just indicates that you're seeing an uptick in overall short sale volume. Does this matter in the grand scheme of things? No, but does it help explain some of the price action that has happened over the last 4 days? Yes, it helps as a reminder to watch the data to validate the conviction that you are holding the stock, right? It's hard to just have blind faith in something. But if you've done your research, your due diligence, crunched your numbers, figured out the absolute bottom line conservative estimate of what's happening with the stock, you can ease your mind because it helps prove your conviction. It proves to you that there's shorts in the market. It proves that there's a lot of things that are happening. On top of that, I really would highly consider, if I was in your shoes, do what you got to do, right? Taking a look at the due diligence behind what happens with naked short selling, what happens with failure to delivers, when those situations happen, why this stock is so hotly talked about, why this is probably the hottest commodity in the stock market, the most talked about security in the stock market. Think about all these things when you get into the trade, because if you understand them, the price is psychological. You're going to hold true to what you believe in if you truly believe in it. If you have conviction in the stock, that's your decision to make. I can't make that for you. I can't give you conviction in the stock. I can lay out some guidelines, some things that I would watch for, right? But ultimately, that decision is yours. So with that being said, let's get into the technical analysis. And I'm just going to give you a brief rundown on what this is kind of looking like right here, because there's two sort of scenarios that I see happening right now. I don't bullshit people, right? Charts are charts. Technical analysis does play a part. And I've seen this argument before, right? I've seen the argument of, well, Trey, if there's so much naked short selling, high frequency trading, failure to delivers, collusion within the markets and the media, how does technical analysis matter? But the thing is that you can think of technical analysis having priced in all of these malpractices that take place within the stock, right? Think about that. If this has been happening for months and months and months, it reflects because technical analysis is psychology of how a chart is being played. That's exactly it. It's a psychology of how a chart and how a stock is playing out before your very eyes, which means that all of these things are getting priced into the technical analysis, giving you a trend, giving you a guideline on what you can expect if these things were to continue happening down the road. So with that being said, there's two scenarios here. You got to break underneath this ascending level of support, which means you could see a free fall down to test this $31 level of support. I'm going to give you the worst case scenario first. In the very short term, you could see a retest of $31. If it breaks underneath that $31 level of support, I've drawn up a box here. Buddy, how you doing? Oh, Titan. You good kitty. You good feisty cat. You good kitty. I'm just glad you're not playing with my computer cords. Go play in your tree. But anyways, I've drawn up a box here of what you can kind of expect on the chart here. So if it does get a break underneath $31, this box is coming from a gap. So what is a gap up in terms of technical analysis? Well, you have here essentially a large move that happened from $12 all the way up to $36. And the most sideways trade that you got in that range of time was right here. This is the most foundation, the most groundwork that you've got in terms of technical analysis is down to about $25.50. So if you were to get a break underneath $31, you're trying to average out of your position, I challenge you to think about this in two ways. You can look at it as unrealized losses, or you can look at it as an opportunity to buy the stock for cheaper, because I will say this every single time. Review Dork actually made a good point today. I watched this video, and I thought this is good to pass along, because you traded sideways between $9 and $14 for months, literally freaking months. I mean, this is the exact same thing that you watched happen back here when you're trading sideways and doing this boring bullshit stuff between $8 and $14, right? It's a part of the process, a part of the journey. And you're watching it happen before your eyes. So if you want to average down your position, there are people that bought at 25 way back in the day, and it dropped all the way down to $5. Think about that. That's insane unrealized losses. That's brutal. That's freaking tough. If they average down, they're up a piss ton of money. So it's an opportunity. If you have high conviction, that's your decision to make. Think of it that way. If it breaks underneath $25, you've got $19.89 as the next overall level of support. Second case scenario, bull case, right? What you can watch happen is it just bounces up off of this overall. It could have been a false breakdown, right? It's entirely possible. A false breakdown underneath this ascending level of support to ultimately reclaim and continue on this trend of higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, because it is technically still setting higher lows. Let me just show you this here really quick. Because you have a low right here at $31, $32, $35, 36 and 35. So it's very, very close. But nonetheless, that's what you're watching for, is an initial reclaim of that overall higher low sort of scenario to continue the rips and consolidations. So what you want to see tomorrow to see that bull case, and this is how you'll know, is you'll get a rip and then maybe a little bit of sideways trading. Ultimately, within the first, I would argue, half hour to hour of the day, you're going to be able to tell if AMC is going to have a green day or not. And if it's not, it's another red day. Either A, step away from the screen, or B, set a price alert. That's my two opinions on what I think is going to give you the most clarity, the most peace of mind to watch this overall stock. So bull case, like I'd mentioned, you just want to see the rip consolidate, rip consolidate, rip consolidate. This is the sort of thing that brought us from $14 all the way up to $72. Part of the journey, part of the process. The price is psychological if you have conviction in what you hold. Remember your why. Remember the conviction. Remember all the due diligence, all the research, all the numbers you've crunched on this stock. It's going to make it 10 times easier. Think of it like this. Don't look at it as holding the stock. View this as a high yield savings account, right? This is money that you're not going to get back for a while. If you set a timeline, you have to pay your rent by a certain amount of time. You've got very short-term expiration options. You're looking at this the wrong way, because nobody can tell you. Nobody on planet Earth can tell you the exact day or month or year or whatever it is, right? You get the point here. This is going to happen. Just view it as a savings account or a Roth IRA or money that's just pissed into the abyss until things come to fruition. And that's what I've got for this video. So blah, blah, blah. I know spiels. I'm my friends. Catch you later. I laughed at that. Usually that was a little extreme. Oh man. Light taps always. Light taps always. Much love and peace.